Sensei is a Japanese word that means teacher, and I teach Isshin-Ryu Karate for the Recreation Department of Bethel Park at Bethel Park Community Center. I've been in Isshin-Ryu Karate for over half a century, and it's been my observation the violence is always emphasized, but the better virtues of karate is seldom seen. In this series, my purpose is to acquaint you, the viewer, with the benefits of martial arts training in general and Isshin-Ryu Karate specifically. So whether you're a martial artist already, or whether you're a person who's thought of taking martial arts, or if you're someone with no interest whatsoever in martial arts, I think you'll find this program to be of benefit to you. My name is Chuck Wallace, but my students call me Sensei. Hello, and welcome to episode number 8 of My Students Call Me Sensei. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, and that is the various dynamics of Isshin-Ryu Karate. Now, when I say dynamics, I'm referring to the principles and the concepts that make Isshin-Ryu Karate as a martial art work. If those concepts and those principles are applied by practitioners on a regular basis with consistency, they can lead to the highest level of achievement, skill, and knowledge that a student can achieve in the study of Isshin-Ryu Karate. There are many, many of these concepts. We're going to cover a few. We won't cover them all. What I might add before we start is that these concepts are not necessarily exclusive to my style of Isshin-Ryu Karate. They apply, for the most part, to other styles of karate. Okinawan, Japanese, Korean, Chinese, pretty much right across the board. So if you're a karate student but not Isshin-Ryu, you still can benefit from this session, and I hope that you do. On the other hand, if you're not a martial artist, you still can benefit from some of the concepts as to how they can apply to your everyday life, to your health, to your well-being, to your positive state of mind. So I'm glad you're with me today. I've invited one of my students, a longtime student with me, named Andrew, who will be joining us shortly. To begin with, first and foremost, breathing. Breathing is number one. It's the number one dynamic, not only in Isshin-Ryu Karate, but in most every martial arts style that there is. We've had other sessions on breathing. Episode number 4 was almost exclusively on breathing, with a part of it bearing with or pertaining to Sanshin Kata, which has a lot of deep breathing in it. Breathing is proper. We won't go into it in detail, but you need to inhale when you rest. You need to exhale when you execute. Meditation combines breathing with counting your breaths from a seated position, back straight, chin tucked in, arms either resting on your thighs or palms resting, one cupped in the other, thinking of nothing but counting. An inhale of maybe 4 counts, an exhale of maybe 8 counts. And this is a good way to start. This is a good way to establish your breathing pattern for your upcoming workout. With the warm-up, we continue this control of our breathing. Inhaling when we rest, exhaling when we execute. Now, execute means the movements or the punches and blocks, chops and kicks that we do in the actual karate training. So I'd like Andrew to step in now. Andrew, glad to have you with me. okay? And I'd like you to demonstrate for the folks just 2 or 3 of the warm-up exercises featuring the breathing, all right? Okay? Inhaling there, exhaling a little faster, okay? Inhale, exhale twice. One more time. Step out, inhale, exhale twice. And the other side. Steps out, inhale, exhale twice, all right? Now, just from here, demonstrate side stretches, okay? Inhaling in between, exhaling with each dip to the side. Begin. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. One more. Exhale, inhale. Thank you. Just wait right here, okay? Now we're going to go from our warm-ups into the proper posture and the proper structure that we need in karate. Andrew, if you would assume a left foot forward seisson stance, okay? Knees bent, low center of gravity, chin tucked in, okay? Back straight. The heel of Andrew's forward foot is on a line with the big toe of his right foot. This is a very stable position. 50% of the weight is on each leg. It's very stable, it's very strong. The back is straight, the chin is tucked in, okay? And he's in a good structured position. Now, just slowly put the punch out. It's my target here. Okay, the punch has the fist cocked slightly downward. There's a slight bend in the elbow. The structure is good. Okay, other fist on the hip. Okay, come again. That's it. Hitting the target, returning. This is good structure. Back straight, knees bent, low center of gravity, feet straight. Structure and balance, these are very important. All right, very good. Okay, all right. Okay, now from here, we're going to go right into the effortlessness aspect. One back again. All right. The Isshin-ryu punch is a little different from many other styles. Other styles will push with the shoulder or with the elbow. In Isshin-ryu, we reach with the punch. It's just as if you were reaching out. Let's say he had some black fuzz on his gi. I would reach for it, retrieve it, and bring it back to my hip. Reach and back. So whereas in the movie Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi had wax on, wax off, paint the fence, all right? We have reaching for the fuzz. Loose, we're reaching out and coming back. From there, we advance to what I call the imaginary hand saw, where we have a continuous action of the punch, staying loose and relaxed all the way. Remember, in Isshin-ryu karate, the tightness is only at the end. It's only at the end of the technique. You're loose all the way. And that handles the dynamic of effortlessness. Now we're going to talk about, in the katas, some of the principles and concepts that exist in the Isshin-ryu katas. And to start with, Andrew, if you would demonstrate from Seisson kata, the block, punch, punch, kick, punch, big block sequence, all right? Face the camera and proceed. I'd like you to do it twice. One time fairly slow, the second time with some zip, all right? We'll go into the big block. That's it, do it again, okay? This time with a little bit of zip. Look. Good. One more time, same way. Block, punch, punch, kick, punch, look. Okay, good. All right, my point in having him demonstrate this one is that in Isshin-ryu karate, we always look before we move. We never turn around blind to who or what is behind us. I don't know if you've ever been in line at a store, a restaurant, perhaps McDonald's. You have someone receive their items they purchased and turn around right into you. Whereas had they looked first and seen you there, they would not have turned right into you. So we always look before we change direction. And that's a concept, a principle, and a dynamic of Isshin-Ryu Karate that applies straight across the board. Probably it applies in many other styles as well. Look before you change direction. Let's talk for a minute about retraction. Let's say Andrew is in a position, both fists on the hips. He punches out, right hand. He punches with the other hand. Punches right. Punches left. Right. The hand that he punches with, once he punches, he needs to put it somewhere that he can use it. So as he punches with his opposite hand, he retracts that hand back to the hip where it can be used again. So retraction is an important dynamic in Isshin-Ryu Karate. Retract the hand to bring it back to a place from which it can be used for punching or blocking, chopping, elbow strike, whatever. Retraction gives you that weapon back in a cocked position from which it can be launched at an attacker if that becomes necessary. Now there's a further benefit with retraction. That benefit is that it adds to the force of the blow that's coming out with the other hand. For example, same demonstration, fist on the hips, punch, put a little zip into it. Now he's going to emphasize this retracting hand rather than this one that's punching out. He wants to think pull, pull, that's it, pull, 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 pull. Good. So the retracting hand is always emphasized in order to add force to the other hand that's coming out with a punch. Retraction. It gives you another weapon ready to use again. It adds to the force of the other blow that's coming out. Proper retraction is a very important dynamic. Now we're going to talk about a couple of dynamics that are very significant, not only to Isshin-Ryu, but I happen to know to many other styles as well. The first one is the movement of the waist and the hips. Now we're going to demonstrate. Andrew, just stand this way, please. All right, from Kyatsuke position. Let's just do the very beginning of Wan-Su Kata. Hey. 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 Block, punch. Okay, one more time, same one. Ready? Hey. Hey. Block, punch. Good. What we're doing here, when we reach this position, we're blocking a kick coming at us from the side, and then a big twist, a big turn from the hips. Punch as we deliver that punch. It's the waist that's used. The waist, these are big muscles. Now we do a lot of exercises in our warm-ups for the waist. You saw one earlier with the side stretches. We have this exercise that we do twice on each side. 1, 2, 1, 2, and so forth. We have the swinging of the arms that we do, which is for the waist, all right? From here, swing, 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 and hold. And we have an exercise that we can do where we block and then counter, but using our waist, all right? Let's work 5, 6, 7, 1 rep, rapid fire. From here, itchy. Back to here. Now we're turning our pelvis off on an angle. Block, punch. Back to here. Block, punch. And back. Again. This time let's do the side block. Ready? Catch, block, punch. Catch, block, punch. Open hand side block. Catch, block, strike. Catch, block, strike, and back. 1, 2. What we're doing here is emphasizing the action of the waist. The waist delivers the force. Isshin-ryu karate, other styles of karate, kung fu even, all have a theory that the energy comes up from the earth, travels up the leg, is distributed by the waist, and expressed in the hands in the form either of a punch or a spear hand technique. So the waist are big muscles that can add a lot of force to the techniques. Very definitely, the waist is an important dynamic of Isshin-ryu karate. The waist. All right. Now we're going to go into what we call augmentation. Now, augmentation in martial arts means to augment or fortify or strengthen whatever technique it is you're doing. For example, we have a punch, okay, where we reinforce, we're augmenting the wrist. We're stepping in, punch. Okay, that's an augmentation this way. We can augment a block. For example, he's coming in with block, punch this way, augmenting the wrist and thereby making the block stronger. If you're blocking a punch from a big, strong guy, it might not be enough to block this way. You might need to augment that block by reinforcing your wrist. Augmentation. In Seisan Kata, we have augmentation that appears right near the very end. Andrew, demonstrate the very end of Seisan, all the way up to the end. Stepping back, okay, baiting, catch the foot, twist, and step up and down and bow. Okay. The augmentation, after baiting, he catches the foot, stomp. That stomp is an augmentation of that break, because we're here begging him or inviting him to kick. He kicks, twists the foot, and stomping down with the opposite foot is a way to augment that twist of the foot. Augmentation is very important. Now, let's have Andrew perform what is the shortest kata in Isshin-ryu karate. However, it's probably been, it has a reputation of being the easiest kata to learn and the most difficult kata to master. It's called Nihonchi kata. It's found in our style, it's found in other styles of Okinawan, Japanese, Korean, and Chinese karate. It's a short kata, but it demonstrates augmentation and the flexibility of the wrist, or the waist movement, excuse me. I'm stepping ahead of myself. All right. Andrew, if you would, do a one-time with some zip.
Nihonchi kata. Kia!
Well done. Well done. Good job. All right. You could see the movement from the waist in the blocks that he's doing. First to one side, then the other. And that's important. The augmentation is on the punch. Come on over here, just stand. Just stand facing me and I'll throw this punch. Come a little bit closer. Just be in Seisan position. All right, from here, now the punch comes straight out, like so, and the other hand travels with it. This other hand is not punching, but it is augmenting the punch of this hand. So what I'm saying is, because of this movement, this punch will be harder than it would be with just one fist punching. Augmentation, this is a form of it, coming right into the target. From there. Okay. An important concept, an important dynamic of Isshin-Ryu Karate. Next we have the ki-ai. Now Andrew has done a couple of ki-ais, just did a ki-ai. Briefly, the ki-ai, if you use it as you strike, adds force to the blow. If you use it before you strike, it startles the opponent. Demonstrate along this angle in Seisan Kata, stepping across, ki-ai and kick, okay?
Ki-ai.
Good. One more time. Same way.
Ki-ai.
Okay, so the ki-ai in this instance is to startle the opponent. He's ki-aiing before he kicks. Startles the opponent, gives him an advantage that he takes advantage of immediately. So that's an important use of it. Another use is the ki-ai tightens your abdominal muscles, which protects them, acts as armor in the event you take a shot from him before he takes a shot from you. It does that. One further benefit that not all martial artists understand or realize, but the ki-ai makes you breathe. In an actual encounter, sometimes we forget to breathe. Breathing is important. If we don't breathe, we don't think right. We don't get oxygen to the brain. So the ki-ai makes you exhale, since a ki-ai is a verbalized exhale. And when you exhale, you automatically inhale. And that keeps you breathing and keeps you safe and keeps your brain working in its best manner. So that's why the ki-ai is so important. Body transfer, that's moving the whole body. Now we saw that in one case where we're moving, we're body transferring the whole body as we go. I showed that with the reinforced side blocks that we did earlier. Body transfer is important. Trapping. Trapping is when you trap or capture one of your attacker's limbs. It could be a foot, it could be a foot or leg, it could be a hand or arm, and we're going to show you one of each. I'll do the first one. In fact, Andrew, why don't you do the first one? Stepping out in Seiyuchin with the ki-ai and the punch and the bridge of the nose, okay?
Ki-ai.
One more time. He steps out on the opponent's foot,
Ki-ai.
traps him, does an uppercut, bridge of nose strike, and leg blocks a kick. Good. Another one that we have is in that same kata, at the very end of the kata, where you punch down and ki-ai, ki-ai, and that draws his attention down. You step in, trap his hand, and go right over the top with a bridge of the nose strike. Ki-ai, he looks down, step, and bridge of nose strike. Okay? So these are two examples of trapping. We're going to cover the feint. In the feint, in the kata Wan-Su, we're going to step around, rising block, ki-ai, that draws his attention upward, kick, step down to a guard position. So we're faking high to kick low. Once again, here, ki-ai, kick, step down into a guard position. Feinting. Faking an uppercut, draws his attention up, kicking to the groin or lower abdomen, and that achieves your goal, stopping the attacker. We're going to talk about the wrist. We have big muscles in the waist, and we have small muscles in the wrist. In a technique like this one, where we chop into the midsection, turning the wrist, come around, chop to the neck, we retract the hand, but the wrist plays a vital and important part. Step, chop. Up to here, chop. The wrist. Let's do our wrist exercises, okay? We keep the elbow in nice and close. We want to be loose. And this develops that action, that wrist action. Loose, tight. Loose, tight. We'll do 2 of each. Other side. Loose, tight. We exhale as we strike. Loose, tight. Bridge of nose. Loose, tight. Loose, tight. Other side. Loose, tight. Loose, tight. Short chop. Loose, tight. Loose, tight. Other side. Loose, tight. Loose, tight. Long chop. Loose, tight. Loose, tight. Other side. Loose, tight. Loose, tight. And back. All right. Keep in mind the 3 components. A very important dynamic for every successful karate strike. You must have the proper target, use the proper weapon against that target, and use the proper mechanism that delivers that weapon to that target. Lastly, Andrew, I've been asked on numerous occasions, what's the most important move in Isshin-Ryu Karate? And here's what I showed the people. Hey. Last and most important dynamic of Isshin-Ryu Karate is the bow. The bow shows respect. Respect that the teacher has for the students have for the teacher, and student and teacher have for the martial art of Isshin-Ryu Karate. When you bow, you lower your eyes. You bend from the waist. You bend at the elbows. You do not slide your hands down your pant leg. And in the attention position, your chin is tucked in and your head is pulled back. The bow, it's what martial arts are all about. Not violence, but courtesy, respect. Thank you for your attention today. I look forward to seeing you again next time. Thank you.